So I just wanted to introduce you to the latest addition to my range of power supplies. This one is the most powerful yet, and I've come up with it because I have a lot of tape machines and weird things like motor control modules and stuff that requires more current than these smaller kind of power supplies can deliver. So this one will deliver in total 100 sorry about the noise, I've got a parrot since the last video. Will supply 1250 milliamps across the rails, plus minus 12 combined. And what's really handy about it is you have a huge wide voltage range input, just like the DC Nano. So anywhere from 9 to 18 volts. So for this one, I like to use these Meanwell medical adapters. This one's a little bit over-spec'd at 60 watts, but there is a 40 watt version, which I recommend for this 30 watt power brick. So what does the power supply have on it? We've got 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I can count. That's good. 13 sockets for Eurorack modules, all shrouded, so you can't get it wrong at this end when you plug them in. We've got some LEDs to indicate the rails. It's got a +5, although most modules have their own internal like 5-volt regulators these days. But there is a 5-volt regulator just in case. And yeah, you can wire it up to another busboard. I do a great little 42 HP busboard, which is available on my website. I'm using these screw terminals. And then there's two ways of powering it, the whole thing. We can either just plug straight in, plug a male DC jack from our power brick into this 2.1mm barrel jack. Alternatively, you can also power it by screwing some wires and then wiring that to another socket. So potentially it makes it very easy to mount in a case. You could either have this mounted, right on the edge, so this is visible through a hole, or you could mount a jack to the outside of your case and then wire this straight to it. And the great thing about these is they actually work either or. So how can I best explain this? If you're not using the DC barrel jack, this power supply is normalized through the switch. Okay. Now what's the advantage of that? If you want to do something really clever, like have an internal battery, potentially it would allow you to do that. You could have the battery wired up to this one, and then if no other external power supply is plugged in, the power will be applied. But as soon as we insert an external power supply, it will break that connection. So I'm going to do a video about that later on, but it's only a little addition. But the next part of the video is me just showing how easy it is to install these in a system. I've got one in the style of Blue Peter that I did earlier. You've got all these M3 holes, which allow you to just use some standoffs to mount it. Okay, so we're out in my messy workshop, but it's a sign of progress. And I've drilled the case, ready to mount this power supply. And the way to do that is, just place it and then use the M3 holes to mark it. I've just drilled 4, but you could use 8 if you want. And there's two ways of kind of thinking about it. You could either have the power supply mounted and then wired to a jack via this screw terminal, or if you really wanted, you could potentially, let's say the outside case isn't very thick, you could mount it like so and then just drill a hole in the side and use this barrel jack. So yeah, the next little step is to get this mounted up with some M3 screws, and I've used some nice countersunk ones, and I've even treated myself to a countersink bit. So yeah, I'll get this all mounted up and take a couple of shots. So here it is. I've used a couple of nuts just to raise this off the board. Ideally you'd use some plastic insulated ones, but it'll be fine for what I'm doing. And then mounted the jack, twisted the wire and just kept it well out of the way. Keep it nice and neat. If you're really thorough, you could put some cable kind of tidy clips in, but I'm here for a good time, not a long time, so gonna get these nuts added to the top side now. And that's something to really watch out for. Definitely don't want to, it'd be worth at the end of this, I'm just going to hoover it out, because the last thing you want, we don't need to go crazy tight with this, I will put a little bit of thread lock at the end after I've tested it, so that it doesn't have to come out. This case has had so many different power supplies in over the years. It's one of my first cases. I made it with some beautiful oak ends, and to be honest, it's held together with a bit of a women of prayer. I just used some kind of corner mounting brackets, or whatever you want to call them, to hold this thick plywood base to the outside oak sides. And in this case the rails are actually kind of holding it together, which I don't know, probably isn't recommended. If I drop this, these aluminium rails will probably just get bent out of all recognition. Anyway, pop this last one on here. Normally I'd have two hands to do this. Okay, so all I wanted to show you now, well, I'm risking it a little bit, but let's go for it. So I've just rewired the socket after double checking, and this is the configuration. So you want the red closest to that DC, or the positive closest to the barrel jack, and then the black closest to that corner. And yeah, it's kind of a testament to how robust these power bricks are. It didn't matter. It should be fine now. It hasn't done any damage. There we go. And we've got a 5-volt rail, a 12 and a -12. So lo and behold, it works. Fantastic. So for now, I'm quite happy with this. I'm going to be turning this into a kind of electromagnetical test demo case. So we're going to have solenoids in here, motor stuff, tape machines, of course. Yeah, all sorts of things that require a little bit more current. So yeah, hope that's been interesting, and I'll do a full document on you know, the barrel jack configuration, the wiring for the screw terminals here, and yeah, a little bit about the spec, and also, you know, mounting it, what hardware you need. So yeah, if this is something that appeals to you, I've added it to my website now. I've got 5 of them ready to go, and they're going for £79 each, which is hopefully yeah, in the right price range. It's kind of similar, I would say, to a Uzus, only a little bit cheaper. So yeah, so I hope that helps. Until next time, peace, love and patching. Cheers now, bye.